enough driving.
Sorry.
That's okay. So George Giel is here. He is the Assistant Transportation Supervisor at Shenendehowa, and he's going to talk to us a few minutes regarding mechanics and the DMV roundtable that's coming up. You know, and George.
Okay, well, actually, it's the DOT roundtable. That's coming up on June 15th. It'll be 10 o'clock. It's probably going to be virtual. We usually,
meeting right now, so I'll get it to you soon.
we were trying to get it live this time, and it's not going to happen probably. We'll keep you informed. Dan has, he sent out a whole bunch of links to,
Hang on a minute, George. Just make sure everybody's muted. Please.
that was actually me, my one phone call of the day. I think Al was calling me. I'm not available, Al.
I think
No.
Bernie needs a tape.
Yeah, that could be. Anyway, I'm the vice president of Head Mechanics Association. Been there forever. Thanks, Harry. Harry put me there a long time ago, and I've been unable to escape. But you know, our next meeting is going to be June 15th. It is going to be the DOT roundtable. Dan sent out links to everybody. He sent out 2 surveys. One survey is questions for the DOT that day. Another one is for training that you would like to see during the year. Just for example, last year we did coolants, fuel treatments, disc brakes, high voltage safety on the new electric buses, DPF after treatments, tires and suspension, air conditioning, wheelchair lifts, multiplex systems, and again, the DOT roundtable. This year we got coming up fuel treatments again, because that's a big one. We'll be probably doing that in September. Roger Herod from Matthews Bus, he's going to be doing electric buses. Everybody should tune into that one. I mean, it's the wave of the future. If your head mechanic isn't doing anything about that, you need to think about a new head mechanic, because times are changing. You either got to grow or go, in my opinion.
The only thing George did for me for that is he brought me a electric plug.
But we got we're giving out ASE training scholarships. That's something that we started. And you know, training, it's all about training, and it's $50 a year for a good training. And just to give you an example, when I came here, we had one person that did AC. That was great. One guy did AC. The one guy that didn't show up to work that much. So you got one guy that does training on AC. Well, now we got our whole shop can do AC. We got several of them 609 qualified, so that we always have somebody here in case EPA shows up. Is somebody 609 qualified, which is to be able to use your recharge and recycling machine. Yes, we've got that. But we do the training, and now you got, you know, first, how training works is the more confident you get the guys, the more willing they are to do a job. If they're not confident, they're saying to themselves, hey, you know, I need a manual. I can't do this. I don't understand this. Can you help me out? Is there somewhere I could go to learn this, or what can I do? So we do the training, and then we had our vendor come in and do the training. We had Matt, or actually it was Leonard Bus came in. I can't remember the name of the trainer at the time, came in and did training. So then we do it again, and we turn them loose, and we got several guys that can do it. We got a new machine because you got to stay EPA compliant and DEC compliant, because if you're not, you're looking at big fines. So now you got a guy that's looking at that, where he used to say, you know, I need a set of manuals, I need this, I need that. Now he's looking at it and he's saying, well, you know, I think we should do this. We seem to be having this problem. I'm looking at my gauges and I've got high head pressure, or I got low suction pressure or whatever. And then he goes, I think this is the problem. Well, we had, they weren't changing the air dryers when I came here, and we had desking in the lines. So now you got desking in your orifice tubes, you got them in your screens. So now the guys are changing them, and they're confident. And when they're confident, you got a better technician on the job. And again, it's just for $50, we are here to help you out, because our dues went to $50. And that includes the seminar in Syracuse. And when these guys, when they get together, they start asking each other's questions, and they start figuring out problems. We had a problem with one of our buses on the GM chassis, where they go out on the road and all of a sudden they stop. They can't go. The transmission's slipping. Guy gets out there and looks at it, puts it in the gear, and it goes. And oh, nobody's having this problem. We can't, nobody's got this problem. Well, we put it out to the Head Mechanics Association. Well, yeah, there's a whole bunch of them got problems, but they're living with it. Or they're replacing the transmission. Well, it isn't the transmission. It wound up just being the valve body. And, we found 4 or 5 of ours were under warranty, and the dealer did it. And now the dealer knows. And now we're telling the other schools, hey, we're using Capital and GMC. He knows about this problem. If you've got this problem, send them there. They're helping us out. They're bending over backwards to help us out, and they want your business too. So again, that's just from people at the Head Mechanics meetings talking and getting together and brainstorming. And we have a bunch of big schools that they aren't involved, and they should be. It would help them out immensely. So have them reach out to us, pay the $50 and get on board. That's pretty much all I have.
Thank you, George. Jerry, I'm excited that we have a new sponsor this month that I believe is new to the chapter. So Jerry, if you want to introduce Keith and tell us a little bit about Busright.
So Keith and his partner have been at our winter workshops. They have been at the NIAP conference. Probably seen them set up as one of the vendors. They do float around. They come to almost every function there. Keith Corso is from Busright, and he's going to give us a presentation on his product today. So welcome to the Capital District NIAP meeting, Keith, and we'll go ahead and take the floor.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for having us. With me is also Fred, our senior software engineer. Thought it would be good for him to be here to listen to some of your questions, your needs, and make sure that we're building a product experience that you've all deserved for too long. So with that, it's good to see some familiar faces here. Al, I know we spoke the other week, but I'd love to quickly go around. If anyone wants to share, what is the #1 problem that you're dealing with in your fleet right now? And Al, I'm gonna have you kick us off here. #1 problem. What do you got?
Of course, the driver shortage, that's the biggest problem we have that we're dealing with.
Awesome. Anyone else want to unmute themselves and raise their hand, share what are other big problems that you're dealing with? Or if you want to second that, you can do that too. Raise your hand if you're dealing with a driver shortage right now.
I just walked in from driving a route since 6 a.m.
Awesome. And raise your hand if you're still using those paper route sheets, trying to figure out where you're going during that route that you might be subbing today. Jared, did that happen to you? Perhaps?
Yep.
Awesome. So for a little bit of context, thought it'd be good to share more about why we started the company, where we are today, and dive into a quick demo of Busright. So I had a phenomenal relationship with my bus driver Joy growing up, and I grew up in Westchester, New York, so not terribly far from any of you. And when she retired, I watched as substitute driver after new driver jumped into that bus, and they're staring at this physical paper route sheet with scribbled stop notes, highlighter everywhere, and they're trying to match the 10-point font to a mailbox number at 6:45 in the morning when it's pitch blackout. And they're transporting our nation's most precious cargo. And so over the years, I was just thinking how difficult these drivers' jobs were. and how we can empower them to do their best work, which is focusing on the road ahead of them and building relationships with those kiddos on the bus. And that's where this vision came out, where what if every driver was one click away from getting safe and accurate turn-by-turn directions so they could truly feel comfortable and confident in whatever work that they're doing at any given moment. Now, with that said, that's where we started, with a tablet behind that wheel. Like most folks that start in the student transportation industry, behind that wheel, we did as well. But we've since branched out into a much broader platform that allows Valerie to build a route in under 60 seconds. It allows Belinda to communicate with parents in one click. Peter can dispatch routes to any tablet, so every driver is one click away from navigation, and so much more. Now, we're a newer company, as Jerry alluded to. We've been around for about 5 years. We have customers in now 15 states, as far west as Phoenix Schools in Arizona, as far east as Biddeford Schools in Maine. And we've been fortunate enough to bring along investors like the former superintendent of Boston Public Schools, the founder of Kayak, founder of Wayfair, founder of Quizlet, second investor in Uber, and several venture capitalists out in Silicon Valley and Boston. And our goal at Busright is to bring new resources and perspectives to an industry that we believe has been underserved and underappreciated for too long. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and I would love to show you a quick video to demonstrate what I mean when we talk about a world in which drivers are one click away from feeling confident in doing their best work. Can everyone see my screen here? Jerry, thumbs up. Awesome.
I've been doing this for 15 years and always memorize my route. This makes it so much easier.
It's just so much easier having the GPS in there, because I just press a button and it just tells me where to go. Coming to a new town, not knowing the town, it will help you do the route without doing a dry run. I think every bus should have it. It will help the drivers a lot.
I love the fact that it tells you what your stops are and how far away you are to your next stop.
It's great to hear the route because you get a lot of distractions on the bus with kids. Just a little bit more safe because you don't have to look down. You can hear it. You can focus on the road.
Awesome. Now, before we switch gears here, Jerry, I'm going to pick on you for a second. If you had to jump into that new route this morning that maybe you haven't done before, what do you think of having that kind of functionality that's one click away?
Well, I think the functionality is wonderful. I guess the first question on my mind would be DOT compliance for security of, just would that pass DOT inspection? How secure is it from keeping it flying? So I guess that's where my mind went on the first thing, but the technology itself would be awesome.
No, I love your enthusiasm. So it is totally DOT compliant as of a little more than a year and a half ago. So it's been exciting to see that states are recognizing that that tablet is a lot safer than those crumpled up pieces of paper. Now, with that said, Busright, the goal was for it to be an all-in-one solution. So you might have a routing software, a GPS, a parent app, and so on and so forth. And you have to make these things talk to each other, which can be challenging. But with Busright, it's all one technology. So what you're looking at right now, Jerry, can we see this live map here?
Yes.
This is awesome. So what you're looking at right now is those tablets actually pull GPS out every 2 seconds, which is the quickest ping rate in the industry. So no longer do you need any other additional hardware. It's just the tablet. But the magic of Busright is that we're also your routing software, which we'll get to here in a second. So that means that on that live map, you can drill directly into any one of your routes and have full visibility into what's going on in your fleet. And so that way, Valerie can just hover her mouse over the screen and see exactly what time the bus got to a certain stop, exactly what students are assigned to that stop, and more. Now, it doesn't end there, because Bill can also go into Busright and actually see when the bus is going to arrive at any stop left on that route. So if we go ahead and hover our mouse over any other stop, Busright's actually going to predict when it's going to get there based on how fast it's going, if the bus made a wrong turn, if it's caught in traffic. So you don't have to radio to the driver, hey, why are you running late? Where are you? What route are you on? What road are you on? All of that is right in front of you, just one click away. Now, again, if that sub makes a wrong turn for some reason, or you make a wrong turn, all of those ETAs are adjusting every 2 seconds. But chances are that you don't have all the time in the world to be staring at a Busright live map all day. So we actually save all that route history data for you forever. So if we go into one of our customers here in Massachusetts, we can quickly see exactly where that bus was and when it was there, and much more. All right. Can we see this screen right here? Thumbs up, everyone. If you could see kind of dots on the map with a dotted line, wonderful. So what we're looking at is that Al can go into Busright, and when that parent calls and says, hey, the bus never came to my stop, raise your hand if you ever get that one from parents. Bus never came here. Yep. All right. So you can just hover your mouse over that screen, and Busright will tell you that on May 19th, this morning, the bus got to stop 3 at 7:16. It got to stops 2 at 7:15, and so on. That parent might also say, hey, it was blew by my street. Well, now in Busright, you can also go and just hover over the path of the route, and it will tell you it was going 27 miles an hour at 7:14 with 47 seconds to go. And I love this functionality because drivers are usually always right and parents are usually wrong that the bus was typically not speeding by their street. And this is just a way to back them up instead of having that he said, she said game. Now, what you could also do here is basically toggle between different days that the driver went on their route and see what differences there might have been. So as we'll see here, we can quickly see that, oh, wait, the driver went to school in a little bit of a different way there in the bottom of the route. We can also, again, just quickly jump between these different routes. And we might notice that, wait, the driver skips a certain stop every day. Why might that happen? Or they run late every day. Why is that happening? Or they're ahead of schedule these days. Why is that happening? And so again, all of that is just available within a couple clicks. All right, Jerry and team, I'll pause there for a second. So far, we've talked about driver navigation, 2-second GPS, unlimited route history. This goes back as far as you want, 10 days, 10 years, as long as Busright's on your fleet. Anyone want to jump in with questions, thoughts, ideas before we shift gears to the world of routing? Yes, Jerry.
So the first thing I'm thinking is that obviously there's some kind of GPS hardware embedded into the actual bus itself for it to be tracking all of this, kind of like Geotab does. What I'm wondering is when we pull the bus for maintenance or whatever, and we put them in a spare bus, are you able to go in and say, hey, bus 346 is now going to be, $299?
Wonderful question. So the first question there is, you think there's going to be additional hardware. There's no additional hardware. It's just the tablet. So you know how your family might be able to track your phone, right? Know exactly where you are. We use the same GPS sensor in the back of the tablet. So you don't have to buy additional hardware. You don't have to hook anything else into the top, the bottom of the bus, the ECM, none of that. It's just in that tablet. We take care of it all.
All right. So what if the tablet goes down then?
Yep. So when you say goes down, what do you mean?
Well, did they dropped it and it broke? I mean, whatever. However, it's not working for some reason. How do you change the route information to a different tablet number then?
Great question. So these are Samsung Tab Active 3s. Now, putting my Busright hat aside, if anyone is interested in tablets, the only tablets you should consider on the market today are Samsung Tab Active 3s. They go in extreme temperature from -40 to 160. You could literally throw them against the wall, run over them with a bus, test it, I promise, and they will still work. So they are incredibly durable and very reliable pieces of technology. So the tablets are incredibly reliable on that front. But let's say that there's a spare bus. Typically what our customers do is they put tablets and mounts on every one of their regular route buses, and they might decide to put spare mounts on their spare buses so they could swap the tablets to the spares whenever they need to change. Now, Jerry, check this out. Let's say that all of a sudden, we're going to say that little bus 4 right here, this route, is now in a spare bus. all we have to do is assign this driver. The driver would just jump into a spare bus with that tablet and still continue on that route. So the tablet's assigned to the driver, not the bus. And that's one of our core differentiators to make it more flexible across your fleet.
So for me driving that route this morning, we would change that name to me.
Yeah, so you just change that name to you. And if you changed all of these routes to your name, 1 second later, all of those routes will show up on any tablet you sign into on any bus.
Okay.
So it's almost like, Jerry, if you logged into Facebook on, Al's computer or anyone else here's computer, you're going to get your own news feed, right? Or information feed. So it's the same thing. The hardware can be anywhere in the world, but you're getting whatever's assigned to you.
Okay.
Hey, Keith,
Yes.
so your GPS, does it log, is it connected to the flashing lights, the yellows, the reds, door, brakes, all that?
So it's not connected to the lights exactly. So there are other companies that are connected to that. And if you're looking for that, they're definitely a better alternative. For us, we want as little hardware as possible. So it's just the tablet. And we know if the bus made a certain stop, if it was stopped for at least 30 seconds, though you could change that parameter if you want. But again, it's not hooked into the lights. Good question. Awesome.
But it will tell you the time that the bus actually stopped.
Exactly
So
right.
if I could say the bus was stopped at this time for, 2 minutes, that information is available.
Yeah, totally. And so you could actually.
I'm sorry, my mind is swirling, Keith.
No, I love it. I remember talking at the conference and we just jammed out like we are now. It's the same. What you can do is you can actually just dig right into that route history. If you want to the exact second, how long they were at a stop for or a certain spot for. Again, any point along that route, you can just hover over the path and you can say, oh, the bus was at this place for, 2 minutes and 33 seconds if you need to be that exact. But awesome. All right, we're going to shift gears to the world of routing. Jerry, how are we looking on time here?
Belinda's managing our agenda. So how are we looking, Belinda? You're
You might be
muted.
on mute.
About 15 more minutes, 10 to 15 more minutes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Belinda. All right, so shifting gears to the world of routing. So routing in Bus-Rite is both our strength and our weakness. It is our strength because it is the easiest routing software to use. It's our weakness because there are products out there on the market that are way more robust than what we have. So it depends on what you're looking for. And I'm happy to point you in the right direction, whether Bus-Rite's a fit or not. But what we're looking at here, we're going to build a route for Belinda in under 60 seconds. And Belinda, we're going to call this Belinda's route. And you're going to give me a start location if that's okay. Where do your buses typically take off from? An address. It's local to your area.
970 Route 146 Clifton Park.
Route 4. Sorry. Let's see here. Route 146 Clifton Park. There we go. And then what's an end location?
109 Monmouth Way, Clifton Park.
I definitely did not spell that right.
Monmouth.
M-O-N.
Mouth.
All right, I almost had it there. There we go. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, great. So what we're looking at right now, does this look about right, Belinda, so far? Cool. So this is the Bus-Rite map. And so you don't have to ever buy a map from us, and I'll show you why in a second. But let's say we happen to know where some of those stops might be on the route. I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to go ahead and just click the screen. So we're going to click stop 1 there, stop 2, stop 3, stop 4. I'm going to add 10 stops to this route. All right. And right now we have a 10 stop route. And we also can, because Belinda has been working way too hard this year, as I'm sure many of you have, she deserves to take a trip all the way to San Francisco to be on the beach for at least a week. So we just built a route that's all the way in Clifton, and we also just went to California. But for the sake of all jokes aside, I'll delete that stop for a second in California. I just wanted to demonstrate that the world is truly your oyster when you're building a route in Busright. You never have to buy a map in your life. But let's zero in on this specific route. Now, Belinda is like, hold on, Busright. I know the student lives here, but it's actually much safer to pick them up right here because my bus can kind of make a loop-de-loop. Or I know that, the student, lives here, but they actually get picked up right down here. And because we overlay directly with Google Maps, you can actually drop yourself right on the road. And we're the only company in the market, Belinda, where you can actually move that pin to be as precise as the exact driveway that your driver is going to pick them up from. Does this house ring a bell, Belinda? No? All right. Well, you're going to be picking up that child right on that driveway. On the tablet, the driver is able to see that as well. Now we're going to jump back to the route here itself, and we're going to keep kind of making some tweaks. So Belinda's going to inspect this route, and she's going to say, my driver should never go down this road here because it's too narrow. So I'm going to make them go down this side street because it's a lot safer. Or, hey, wait, let's do that one more time. I know that our driver should kind of go down, this side street here to turn around for whatever reason, right? So everything in Busright is just drag and drop. There's no geocoding, it's just drag and drop. So we're going to drag and drop the stop location. We're going to drag and drop the path of the route because Belinda knows the area best. We're going to drag and drop the stop location again, and we can even drag and drop the stop order, right? So we realize that transportation leaders like Belinda have so much local knowledge of her area that technology alone cannot build the best route for her. She can get recommendations and then make tweaks based on what she believes. Now, all we're going to do now, Belinda, what time does this route need to get to school by? I think you're on mute again.
7:10.
7:10. All right. So we're going to say 7:10 a.m. And 1 second later, Busright tells us that this bus needs to leave at 2:34 in the morning. And here are all the different stop times. Right. Now, Belinda, the best part of this is when Jerry is going for a route this morning that he wasn't supposed to be on, we could just assign it to Jerry here, assuming Hilma was Jerry. So when we assign it to Jerry and we click save on this route, any single tablet that Jerry signs into 1 second later after we click save, he's going to have access to this entire route that you just built with built-in turn-by-turn directions, and he'll never have to do a dry run in his life. Now I'm going to add one more thing about routing here, which is this is what a fully built route looks like for one of our customers. And they've added students as well. So we could just quickly toggle on the students on the map here with those little dots there. Belinda, thumbs up if you can see that. Awesome. So we could also drill specifically into a stop. So let's say stop 3 has all these students that are assigned. We can go ahead and just add a new student by searching our student information system, whether you have Skyward, Aspen, Power School, School Tool, you name it. We're going to search Abby, check off a box. And 1 second later, Abby's not only going to show up on the list here, but she's also going to show up on the tablet. So Jerry, when you're doing that route this morning that you're not familiar with, you're going to get a list of eligible students to be getting on or off the bus to further promote stop safety. And it doesn't stop there. We also have a stop note. So Belinda can make a note for the driver, such as, Jerry, this student is transported with a wheelchair, or this house has a yellow mailbox, or a kindergartner at this stop. All you transportation leaders have so much local knowledge of the routes, the stops, etc. And so all of that can be saved now. So when the driver pulls up to a stop, they see the stop note and they see all the students getting on or off. All right. Now we're at the final stretch here, I promise. So let's say we're looking at the Busright live map, right? And Al, you have 220 buses, right? Just about that. All right, 200, that's no small fleet over there. So you're looking at your 220 buses and you're like, whoa, these 2 routes are running 20 minutes late. With Busright, you can notify every one of those parents on that route within a couple clicks. Right? So that message is going to go to every single one of their emails 1 second later. And it's also going to go to their phones as a push notification if they have the Busright app. Now, speaking of the Busright app, we have both the parent app as well, and we have a driver app. And I'll show you here what that looks like. All right. Thumbs up if you guys can see this. There's 2 screens on my one screen, if that made any sense. Wonderful. Thank you. So on the left side here is the driver's tablet. On the right side is the parent app. Now I want to make a note about the driver tablet. The driver only ever presses one button, start navigation. They don't even need to turn on or off the tablet. It does it by itself. Now, that driver, again, is getting safe and accurate turn-by-turn directions. So when Jerry goes out on that route this morning, he knows there are 2 students getting off at this next stop. Here are those students. And he also has all this other information to make sure he can do that route safely. On the right side of the screen, we have the Busright parent app. Now, the unique part of the parent app is that we are the same technology, Al, as the driver navigation. So if that bus makes a wrong turn and all of a sudden it's running 10 minutes late, the parents will get an updated ETA that the bus is now going to be there at 11:30 instead of 11:20. That's why our customers have been able to cut down on calls back to the transportation office between 50 to 80% because everything is in real time. We're not integrating technology. We are one technology that does it all. Now, as you'll see here, the drivers can also make notes for themselves, preview the stops on their route before they take off. They can also do things like student ridership. They can indicate what students are getting on and off if they want, and more. But for the sake of simplicity here, and I know that we're running up on time, I want to go ahead and just jump back to the Busright app here for a second.
Keith, can I ask you a quick
Yes.
question? So
Absolutely.
I err on the side of caution here in Gilderland. On my parent app, I don't let them know where the bus is. I just give them the estimated time of arrival.
Yeah.
So I block the other. Does your parent app have to show them where the bus is, or can it just give them an ETA?
That you're ahead of the curve. So we have an ETA only feature as well. I was going to mention that certain districts don't like when their parents see the exact route. And so we've decided to kind of build that just ETA only.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. And just to wrap up here, last 30 seconds, I promise everyone. So, when we started Busright, we built this to support the driver. And we've built the industry leading driver navigation product so any driver can feel confident in the work that they're doing. Now, we've since expanded to support the modern student transportation leader. Donna doesn't have time to learn new technology or the budget to buy 5 new programs. So Belinda can go into Busright. The whole Busright system takes less than 15 minutes to learn from start to finish. And that's because everything is 2 clicks away from the home screen. So let's say that you want to build a new route from scratch. It's 1 click away. Let's say that you want to send a notification to your parents because the bus is running late. It's 1 click away. Let's say that Al wants to see where his massive empire of buses are in one interface. It's 1 click away. And so much more. Now, design and simplicity are really at the core of what we do. We realize that our strengths and our weaknesses, but so much of what you're looking at right now has been built directly from feedback from student transportation leaders like yourself. And it's an absolute honor to have built the company and started this, when I grew up in New York, and to be talking here in front of you right now. So thank you all so much for inviting us to present here, and really excited to get any feedback, thoughts, questions that you might have.
Thank you, Keith. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Nice product.
Thank you, Jerry. If anyone wants to kind of jump in, unmute themselves. Belinda, it looks like you're starting.
Trying to find my mute button. Yes, thank you so much, Keith. I saw a lot of things that I really liked, and hopefully, if you come back next year, or we can email, if anybody wants to email you, we can share your email address with them, hopefully, and maybe get some more info on specific things. I'm definitely loving the real-time GPS. The 2-second GPS was amazing. That was great.
Awesome. Cool. No, I
Will
think
you be at the summer conference?
we will absolutely be there.
Okay, for anybody attending the conference, make sure you come up and see him and his business partner. They're very enthusiastic.
Wonderful. Anyone have any other thoughts, questions before we hop here?
Hold on, we got 2 comments in the chat. Let's see.
I think that was me
Oh,
putting my
okay,
email,
got it.
and
Yep.
Nathan wants to reach out. Cool. All right, seeing none.
Hey, Keith, are you planning on expanding that product to include, you know, the other pieces such as maintenance software, field trip stuff?
Yep. So we're working on a field trip module right now to be ready by the end of fall. Maintenance is going to be ready by the following school year. And reporting and more robust routing are very much our like top 2 functionalities that we're building for the upcoming school year.
Can you assign 2 people to one person's route? Like say Al overslept, didn't show up to work. So now I need Belinda and Jerry to each run half that route. Can that do that?
So you're saying that if you have an existing route, you want to split it in half and assign it to 2 drivers?
Yeah, I say, Belinda, you go pick up 1 through 10 and Jerry, you go pick up 11 through 20. Because somebody didn't show up.
Yep. So what you could do, and I could show you this if you want, but and I know we're running up on time. What you could do is you could duplicate a route, and then you can just quickly delete the first 10 stops. Say it's 20 stop route, first 10, and then you can duplicate it twice, and then delete the last 10, and then just assign them both to different drivers. It would take no more than 60 seconds.
All right. So real quick on that. So we dissect. So we have a 3-tier run. Each run, I can put a different driver on. So I can have someone do elementary, someone do high school. And you're talking within, the gentleman that just asked a question was talking about within a run, we're splitting it up to 2 drivers.
Yep, you could do that.
Okay.
Is your
Got it.
services cloud-based or local service-based?
It's entirely cloud-based. We take care of everything. We're also the only company in the market that replaces all of your hardware, including those tablets, free of charge after 4 years. We charge one price per bus per year. You never see another penny beyond that. And one other thing, if I could shamelessly plug that we innovate almost more on customer success than we do on our technology, and that every one of our customers gets their own dedicated bus ride concierge. So when you call, there's no call center. It's one person every time. They know you, your family, your kids, if you have, your activities and whatnot. Awesome.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much again, Keith. Great
No,
presentation.
thank you all. I really do appreciate this. And thank you for the work that you do for your communities. You guys are almost at the finish line and it's been a tough year. So hats off to you all. We only do this because we get to work with folks like you. So thanks again for everything. See you, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
Keith.
Good luck, everybody.
All right, so I want to move into awards. We have a few to give away. Is Judy Kahn is on? I think I saw her. Judy, do you have anything to share with the poster contest? Or I believe we did that one already, right? Didn't you share with us?
Yes, we did that a month or 2 ago.
Okay, perfect. So then we're just going to go ahead and do our awards for our SBDI sponsorships, our 19A sponsorships, our Employee of the Year. So I will turn it over to Al Karam.
All right, thanks, Belinda. So we're going to recognize a handful of people here. The scholarship awards, plural, for SBDI 19A. We have 3 individuals we're going to recognize. I already know. We have Lisa Turk. She's from Gilliland. Congratulations to Lisa for getting the SBDI scholarship. We have Dan Hart from Shen, as well as Donna Dunstan from Shen. They'll be getting both the 19A and the SBDI scholarship awards. I wish more people would have put in some of their people in for these awards. That, we went with what was submitted. Not that these folks aren't deserving, they are. They're great trainers. They're doing great stuff for their district. So congratulations to them. And the last one we're going to talk about is the Chapter Employee of the Year Award. And I'll give you the name right up front, and that's going to go to John Fay, again from Shen. The reason we picked John is, as you all know, he led our effort on putting the ELDT program together. And he really has done a phenomenal job. And John continues to make time when colleagues from outside of Shen reach back to him to, answer their questions, share what we have, because the package that we initially put together is still, growing and changing as we learn by traveling down this ELDT road. So, we talk about leadership by example, and that's really has been our motto for the chapter. And John certainly exemplifies leadership by example. He never says no. He just jumps in there. His face turns red, I can tell you that, but he jumps right in there and he takes charge and he gets things done. So I'm very proud of him. And certainly I'm very proud of the trainers who also received the scholarship awards. And oh, by the way, this is it for me as far as being a chairperson for the awards committee. Hopefully next person picks up and carries on. And again, my colleagues, I encourage you, please, it takes your people, and to take what you think of them and type it on a document takes about 5 minutes of your time. Put them in for these awards. These guys are drivers, attendants, trainers, what have you. Office folks as well. They really need to be recognized, and a certificate like this that can be displayed, in the family living room goes a long way, and it helps with morale in many different ways. So please do that. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Al. And I do have one award to give out, is the President's Award. So I'm just going to read a little something that is on this award. This person's commitment to the mission is unshakable, and the mission is safety. In his more than 20 years in school transportation, he has shown himself to be a completely dedicated leader when it comes to the safety of all school bus riders, be it students, aides, and drivers. He never misses an opportunity to emphasize the overarching importance of safety in school transportation. He is also an educator and a mentor to anyone who is committed to the mission. He loves to share his experience and knowledge with those who are keen to learn, and I know that firsthand. It is my honor and pleasure to have worked with this person and present this year's President's Award to Alfred Karam. So there it is. I'll give it to you in your office, and Judy and I were sneaky to do this. We had to do this behind his back, try and get the template for the certificate and type up stuff. And
Listen, if you're trying to worm your way into putting me on the road, that's not going to work. But I appreciate that. That's a surprise. Thank you so very much. And if you know me, knowledge is power, but I shouldn't hold on to that power, because power is dangerous. I always loved sharing it with folks. I did that in the military, and I've been doing that from my first day at Bethlehem and continued on through Shen. So, and I didn't learn it all on my own. So a lot of people here that have also taught me, and one of them is Peter Manella. So I appreciate all the hard work Peter has done in the past, all the great conferences he's put on, and the programs that he put together. So that's where really I got all my knowledge, and I love just passing it on to you also. Anytime I can help, that's what I'm here for. Thank you. Thank you for the award, Belinda. Thank you for the recognition.
well deserved, well deserved. And couldn't agree more with Peter Manella. Anyone like me who is an up and coming leader, please reach out to these folks. They are a wealth of knowledge, and they are always willing to share it with you and guide you. So thank you, Peter, too, for helping me along my presidential journey, as well as my transportation journey. So couldn't agree more.
Pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Next up, I'm gonna kick it over to Pete Tunney, because we do have, I think, every position available now. Also keep in mind, Al just mentioned awards committee chairperson will be open, as well as Operation Safe Stop chairperson. So Pete, I hope Pete's on. I didn't
Yep,
see him.
I am.
Perfect, perfect.
Well, we have the office of president, and we have for For that position, we have the candidacy of Belinda Govich. I'm just kidding you, Belinda. I was just seeing if you're paying attention. Now we have Jerry Keenan from Gilpin for the office of president. He has graciously agreed to step forward and lead the organization. And so now we will call for any other nominations from the floor. If there's anyone else interested in that position, please speak now. And hearing no other nominations, I'd like to make a motion that the nominations be closed and that the secretary cast one ballot for Jerry Keenan.
I second.
Second. All in favor? Jerry, looks like you're it. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. I was on mute. I go, I guess I should vote. Thank you,
And
guys.
now for the office of vice president, Claudine Beck Bergen has agreed to step into that role for us and to assist Jerry in leading our chapter next year. And so with that, I'll ask if there are any other nominations from the floor. And hearing none, I'd like to make a motion that the nominations be closed and that the secretary cast one ballot for Claudine for vice president. All in
Second.
favor? Opposed? Claudine, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
And Madam President, we still have no candidates for secretary or for treasurer. I suppose for secretary, we will open that up now. If there's anyone who'd like to be nominated off the floor, please speak now. If anyone knows of anyone that may be interested. Any? So we have no nominations for secretary. And now for treasurer, the same. We have no nominations yet, but is there anyone here that would like to be nominated for treasurer? There are no nominations. So we have to do, we have our work cut out for us this summer. We have to find two candidates. We have to find the secretary and the treasurer for our chapter. So if everyone here could please reach out to your neighbors, whoever. Let's try to fill those key roles for this chapter.
Agreed. And Jerry and Claudine, please, I will help you in any way I can, except with treasury, because I don't like numbers, so. Kidding.
You keep me on track with my responsibilities. Give me reminders.
Absolutely. I will definitely be there to help you. So I think that is all the business that I have for everybody. Jerry, do you have anything else NIAP state related that you want to share with us?
Just that we will be having a board meeting at the state the weekend of June. Sorry, just give me. Yes, I still keep an old calendar type. June 11th,
June 11th.
we have a state board meeting, quarterly board meeting at the Marriott. So we'll have more updates after that.
Okay, great. And we're looking for our end of year June meeting. Unfortunately, we won't be able to meet again at the firehouse. They're having some, I guess, policy and mandate and law issues there that have been placed on banquet centers. So I think I'm going to send out we decided we're going to send out a poll of some dates to see what dates might work for the majority of us. We're thinking the cruise ship again in Lake George that we had done a couple of years ago. It seemed everybody liked that, so we were thinking that again. So we'll send out information and try and get your thoughts and opinion on some dates and go from there and see when we can hopefully get together in June for our June meeting. Does anybody have anything they want to add, share, Al?
Yeah, so just general knowledge, I'm sure most of you know, but I want to say it again. Bernie Thomas decided to jump ship and retire after 38 years. So we're certainly going to miss her. When's your last day, Bernie? December what?
July 29.
She reminds us every day, July 29th and not a
She
minute.
couldn't hold
later.
out for 40. What a quitter.
What a quitter, right? She's quitting too early. And if you do Belinda, if you do go up to Lake George, can you take Bernie with you and find a deserted island and drop her off there? But we're certainly going to miss our Bernie. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
No, thank you.
All right.
Anything else from anybody? No. Well, I will just say that it has been a pleasure these past few years serving as your vice president and then your president, serving on the NIAP board for the time that I did. Jerry and Claudine, thank you so much. You guys have been amazing. I definitely could not done it without you folks. And I know you'll do great things next year. And I will be here to help you and guide you in any way I possibly can. So congratulations to the both of you. And the chapter is in great hands with these guys.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Belinda. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Claudine.
I did beg Belinda to do 2 more years of our current status, but she wasn't having it. It's been a good 2 years working with you, Belinda.
You too.
Very, very good.
You got us through some tough times. And you too, Jerry. You too, Claudine. It's
For
been a
sure.
difficult couple of years, but we appreciate all of the hard work.
Thank you. So on that note, that is all I have for everybody. And if nobody has anything else, I will say have a great rest of your day. And we'll be talking to you soon and hopefully seeing you soon in June for our end of year celebration.
Beautiful.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.